Hello, dear learners. Good morning. Bonjour. I'm sure by now you all must have looked up and done a few revisions of our last lesson. As mentioned earlier, our section on bonjour, which is the first module of the total 3, takes up salutations and modes of greetings in French as the first module. Last lecture introduced you to a few terms and expressions we use on meeting someone. In today's discussion, once again, we shall have some more new expressions, words, and terms of greetings. The order of the presentation shall remain the same as last time, that is, the first mot et expression, the second grammaire, and the third is culture et civilisation. On y va, on to lecture 2. Before going ahead, let's do a little recap here from your last lecture. If you remember, we did bonjour and salut, coucou, enchanté, bonsoir, bonne nuit, and ça va, maybe. These were some of the initial expressions of greetings that we did in our first lesson. Now, today we shall do some more. Ça va, we already did. Now, there's a similar one. Tu vas bien? Tu vas bien, meaning all's well. Tu is used for तुम, as I told you in my last lecture. Tu vas bien? सब ठीक ठाक चल रहा है? Tu vas bien? Closest in meaning to this. Ça marche? चल रहा है? Often in Hindi you say chal raha hai, so it's almost the same in French. You say ça marche. Ça va bien? Ça va bien we did last time also. The responses are oui, ça va. Oui, ça va. And we also did ça va très bien, merci. There's another one which says pas mal, merci. Pas mal, which means not bad. Not bad, thank you. So when someone asks you, often, all well, you say, oh, pas mal. So this is another way of responding, pas mal. These are all, as you would realize, very casual ways and informal ways of greeting, not formal at all. Then another section where we have slightly longer expressions that I've collected for you. When you meet someone, instead of just saying a bonjour or a bonsoir, when you're really ecstatic at meeting someone, it's a great pleasure for you, then how do you express that? So we say, quel plaisir, quel plaisir. Plaisir, you would have guessed rightly, pleasure, quel plaisir. What a pleasure. The next word is ravi, ravi. I'm delighted, I'm ecstatic. The next is plaisir again, plaisir de vous voir. Plaisir de vous voir. Pleasure seeing you. Plaisir de vous voir. Grand plaisir. Grand plaisir. Can you guess? Great pleasure. Immense pleasure. Ravi de vous voir. Delighted at seeing you. So these are ways of expressing emotions, a lot of joy at meeting someone, and these go a step beyond simple greetings like bonjour or bonsoir. You go a step ahead and express joy at having met somebody. For your terms and expressions, this is where we stop today. you have a lot of things to go over. Because remember, whenever you meet a French speaking person, these are a few of the first few things that you would need to start your interactions. So be very thorough with that. Don't think they are just easy bits. They are actually the first terms that you would use in your conversation with any francophone person that you meet. So be careful with that. The next section, grammaire. In the last lecture, we did les alphabets, from the letters A to N, and we shall, before going ahead, do a quick recap of those today. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N. So these were the letters we did in the last lecture as well. Now letters O to Z, the new ones. O remains O, P, P, Q. Please note the special way. I'm saying it's not Q, it's Q. From E, the mouth should move towards U, U, Q. The legendary R, the French R that I have been insisting from the first lecture. The name of the letter is R, which is why I've written AIR, R. But look at the texture of the R sound. There is no R to begin with. It's R, R. If you have heard the Urdu words Ghalib or Ghazal, these two words are Gh. It's not Ghazal, it's Ghazal. It's not Ghalib, it's Ghalib. See the guttural sound? That is exactly the French R. Be careful. This is the royal alphabet. I call it the royal alphabet of the French set of alphabets. So get it right from day one. It'll do you good. It makes your language sound good. The letter R is R, S is S, P. The letter U, again, is quite like the letter Q. U, you don't say U, Y, not the letter Y, it's U. It's a very gentle progress from E to U, U, U. V is V, W is W. Yes, you guessed right. It's like a double V. So they say W, W. X is X. Y is called Y. 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 And Z is again Z. Not Z, it's Z. Z. I repeat, come after me. O, P, U, R, S, P, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Félicitations. Big congrats. You're done with the 26 letters, les alphabets français. You know them well, and it is up to you to revise them regularly. Les chiffres, numbers 9 to 20. In the last lecture, we had completed up to number 8. And today we begin with number 9. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 et 20. Dear learners, please note, I have used a mixed script here. You shall find some letters from the Nagari script, Devanagari script, some from English, as you know already. So the idea here is to give you the closest equivalent, though I know that's not possible technically, but for the moment, since my learners, I believe, already come with some resources, some mental resources, so why not use that? So even if look at this number douze, I have do from Devanagari and Z from the Roman script, douze, but mixing the two, you exactly get the sound that I am trying to get through, douze. So don't get psyched up seeing such mixed scripts. It might be the first time that you're seeing this in a formal situation, but believe me, once you start using the knowledge resource you are coming to learn this language, you will find things coming much faster, much easier. 13, 14, 15, 16. From 17 onwards, please note, there is a bit of a thoughtful combination, 17, 18, and 19. It's almost like 10 and 7, 10 and 8, 10 and 9. So that gives you 17, 18, and 19. So that's more of a combination word. 17, then you have 18, 18. Don't bother about the linking of the sounds. Don't try to think why it's happening. Just try speaking the way I'm speaking. 18, 19, and 20. 20 is 20. So there you go. We're done with les chiffres from 9 to 20. Learning a foreign language gives you access to a whole new set of new words, new vocabulary, what we call lexique. En français, lexique. Your lexical treasures, they go up. So try learning some new words here. Fille means a girl. Femme, that's a woman. And table, that's right. If you manage to say table, congrats, because it's not table, it's table. And the word is the same as you know already in English, it's table. And in French, it is table. The next column is garçon. I think we came across this word earlier as well. Garçon is the word for boy. Garçon with a small little sign under C, which tells you it's not garçon, but garçon. I told you it gives C the sound of S. The next word is man, and livre, that's book. A little thing to notice. For man, the word is How many of you mumbled hum? Well, that's not a problem because we have all been trained to use H as her. Just think back. While doing the alphabets, I had mentioned that the French sound system doesn't have her, which is why maybe someone who's called maybe Hema, a Frenchman could possibly pronounce that as Emma. There is no her sound, which is why you see this word and it's not hum, it's that's man. Livre, livre, which means book. You see two columns here. The first column, they are all feminine singular words, and the second column, they're all masculine singular words. If you remember last time, we had done le, la, and les, the definite articles, which are added to words depending on whether they are masculine, feminine, singular, plural. So here you have largely the feminine and the masculine singular words. So you have a choice between le and la. On your own, when you're going through the list, try putting le and la. Where do you think you'd put le and where do you think you'd put la? There we are done with part 2 and come to part 3. That's culture et civilisation. Culture et civilisation, culture and civilization. Last time, I remember we did a lot of exciting map work. We looked at the location, the borders of France, and the seas around, countries bordering the country, bordering France. These were things we discussed last time, apart from looking briefly at the map of the Francophone regions. Today, I begin with un peu de géographie. That's what I've written. That's a little bit of geography. I believe when you're doing the language of a country, you absolutely need to know its location, its physical features, topography, the location of mountains, plateaus, rivers, seas. So once you get a fair idea of that, you would associate with a lot of stories, with a lot of civilizational details that would come to you in succession during our future lessons. So here we go with the names of the top 5 rivers in France. It's just like India. I've always felt that France is quite like India, a country of rivers, big rivers, giant rivers. Even in India, we kind of uh, associate the Ganges, Yamuna, and Narmada. These are the giant rivers, the Brahmaputra. So similarly, in France, apart from smaller rivers across the country, you have 5 large rivers. Let's look at the names. La Garonne, la Garonne, la Loire, la Loire, le Rhin. The IN is pronounced as un, un. So don't say Rin, it's Rhin, le Rhin, le Rhône, le Rhône, and la Seine. If you notice, dear learners, the rivers also have genders allotted. Some of them take a le and some of them take a la. Accordingly, you should remember which one is a le, which one is a la. Not that all rivers are written in the same way. No, they have different genders allotted to them. Among these, the last one, if you look at La Seine, this is La Seine. The Seine River is one of the most important, considering that it flows through the city of Paris. If any of you has had the chance to visit France, you would know the immense number of activities, the fun activities, the boat rides, visits to monuments all along the River Seine. Either it's this bank or that bank. So both sides of the Seine, it's full of stories, cultures, activities, history. Seine is a part of Paris, its history, in a way that it shapes the urban history, it shapes the identity of Paris as a city. It's a very important river. So, and please don't pronounce it as Seine, it's Seine. It's like Amartya Sen. So you have Seine, La Seine. So these are the 5 important rivers of France, the big ones. I have not mentioned the smaller ones, though there are many. Now, main oceans and seas bordering the country. I had mentioned in my last lecture that France has roughly 6 sides, which is why we call it l'Hexagone as well, 6-sided country. Now we have 3 water bodies, important water bodies, bordering the country, the Atlantic Ocean, which is to the west of France. Here, if you look at the map, you have the Atlantic Ocean here. Towards the north, on the border with England, between England and France, we have the English Channel. And of course, to the south is the Mediterranean Sea, very famous area of the French Riviera, extremely famous as a tourist hotspot. And you have the Cannes Film Festival and the beautiful sea beaches. It's a very well-known area, and it borders the Mediterranean Sea. So these are the three main water bodies bordering France. The eastern part of the country is landlocked. You don't have water bodies there. You have countries bordering France. We shall come to that in a while. Then let me introduce you to some of the major cities of the country. There are so many other small quarters, small towns, which are equally interesting and exciting to know about. But some of the major cities of France, you have, of course, Paris. Did you know we pronounce Paris as Paris, and it's not Paris, it's Paris. The last S is silent. Paris. You have Lyon, South Central, Lyon. You have Nice. You have Marseille, Bordeaux, Orléans, Rouen, Strasbourg, and Cannes, of course, I just mentioned. The famed film festivals that you have, the Cannes Film Festival. And please, from now on at least, never pronounce it as Cannes. It's Cannes. So these are some of the major cities in France. You should take time to look at the map and at least know the location, the broad location of the cities there. So when you go visiting the country, you know exactly where to go, which city is which direction, bordered by what. It's an interesting way to understand the country better. Well, land borders, as I was just mentioning, the northeast, east, and a bit of the southeast part, they are landlocked. So you have Belgium, Luxembourg, and Germany, largely on the northeast and the eastern borders of France. You have Belgium, this is Germany, and this is Switzerland, all the northeast and the east. Then you go on to a bit of Italy in southeast, and you have Spain then coming in the southwest. So you have Switzerland, Italy, and Spain. Towards the south and the east and the southeast, Spain is, of course, the southwest. Now you come to the last bit, the surprise section for my dear learners, which is called Saviez-vous? What do we have here today? Oh, how many of you have heard of this little town in South France called Nîmes? You know, Nîmes ke patte? Nîmes, that's the name of the town, little town here in South France. It's called Nîmes. I'm sure all of you love wearing jeans, and each one owns a pair of jeans. What is the fabric from which jeans is manufactured? Denim, right? Now, this fabric initially was made here in this town, a fabric called serge. It is a thick, dense, coarse fabric, not like smooth as silk or chiffon. It's a coarse fabric, which was used to make uniforms for factory workers and even in the French national railways. So this was a very thick material, which was specially used to make dungarees, you know, for people who were involved in industries and factories. So this serge, the fabric serge, was manufactured in the town of Nîmes. And later years, when this went on outside France, the non-French speaking people somehow called it Deni because DE, which in French means from or off. So from Nîmes, they were saying de Nîmes, de Nîmes. So suppose this went to America, they pronounced it as Deni. And in due course over the years, this became what we know internationally today, the global icon of fashion as denims. So you know now, this has its origins in the small little modest town called Nîmes in South France. The next time you wear your pair of jeans, you should remember this. A quick recap of today's lecture. Let us look at what we did today. Expressions, informal, asking how are you, informal ways to reply to this, how to express joy and happiness at meeting someone. In the grammar section, we did a recap of alphabets. We did the next set today. We completed all the 26 alphabets from les alphabets, 26 of them done. Félicitations, congratulations. And then we tried getting introduced to the geography of France, neighboring border countries, oceans, seas, and water bodies surrounding the country. And that, okay, some French big cities, and ended the session learning about the great town of Nîmes. Dear learners, we have finished 2 lectures in our course, Parler de Soi. Grande félicitations. Big congratulations. Revise well and try pronouncing the new words, numbers, and alphabets. For many of you, the Devanagari script, Hindi, as you would understand, will help you to grasp swiftly the actual sound system in French language. However, for the ones who are unable to read Hindi, I request you to follow my lecture and try listening and repeating similarly. Bonne chance, meaning good luck, till we meet again in lecture 3. À bientôt et merci. See you soon and thank you.